with maybe a couple thousand miles from Bad Wolf Studios. Good morning, everybody. Here we are again. I'm trying to keep the building out of sight as much as possible because I don't want to get in trouble. There's no filming on this one. I'm like, I'm not inside the building, okay? I'm just out here. The most you're going to see is a wall. Well, it's like, ain't that a scary wall? All right, look, there's a hole in it. All right, so here we are again. It's Friday. Everybody's still waiting for that new sonic screwdriver to come so they can open it up the rear and go, ah. And or the $500 billion rubber toe replica copy, so then go, look what I got. Ha! Yeah, and for what you paid for that thing, I could have bought a junker back in the 80s. You know, that has wheels and runs. Sure, it'll drop rust everywhere, but hang on a second. All right. Yeah, stare at the sky for a little while. Ha! No, see. Excuse me while I whip this up. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Oh, the website crashed. I'm not kidding. There's all these people go, oh, look, I got, and I'm like, you know, I do have some of the sonic screwdrivers at home, but like I said, a lot of my props and stuff I bought, the one I paid the most for out of all of them was probably that Dalek helmet you see in the background on the videos. Because that one had to come from the UK. They're very hard to get at that point. But of course I wound up with the bronze because the bronze was the most common. And it was like 100 pounds for that damn thing. And then it's like, I started, sitting back and thinking, what am I doing? Because, like I said, I have a Clone Trooper helmet that I picked up at a thrift store for $3. I have a Terminator headset, face mask gear with light up eyes and everything. I bought it for $4 at a flea market. Things are out there, you just gotta wait. Save yourself some cash. Like, the only reason I paid as much as I did for like my Pip-Boy replica and all that, and that was only like $20. Because, they weren't really getting that much Fallout merchandise, anymore in spirit of Halloween. As much as I love to have one of the actual Fallout, Pip-Boys you can build yourself with a working display, them things, just look up one of them things on like, Amazon or whatever. You're talking a couple $100. Hang on. Got to roll my sleeve up. So at least it's not too bad out here this morning. It's a lot, easier to breathe this morning than it has been. Because of every morning I'd get up here for a while and I'd walk outside the door and I'd look out and I'm like, oh, is that a beautiful mist hanging in the trees? And they're like, that's not mist, that's fire, that's smoke from the fires in Canada. I'm like, I was walking around, for a couple of weeks wondering, my God, I feel like my smoker's hack is back and I haven't touched a cigarette since 2016. And that's what it was. And I'm like, sorry guys, let me get this straight for you. When I wake up in the morning, I like to wake up to the smell of Canadian bacon, not Canada bacon. You know what I'm saying? It just, ugh. But of course, it's all the global warming. I'm sorry, guys. It's just when you're old enough, you're going to realize that And I feel sorry for saying this, but these loons don't know any more of what the weather's going to be like in 20 years than I know the entire history of the way called the Dutch East India Company. It's not gonna. It doesn't happen. I remember growing up, they said we were heading for another ice age. The temperature is slowly dropping over years. Now the temperature is slowly rising. Oh. Well, I'm glad. Yeah. Doctor Magazine's out this week, of course, and I think it's number 539. A lot of good stuff looking like it's come out of that. And also, like I said, one of the birds is saying to me and said there's a good possibility that Series 14 will open on Christmas Day this year. So we're going to have to keep our eyes open on that. Hearing that from a couple places. Thank you, John, out there in comment land, for also saying it. Saying you heard it as well. We'll have to keep our fingers I was about to say our fingers tossed. I'm like, wait a minute. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed, our toes crossed, and wait to see what happens. They found an old analog computer. Are you I know there's things out there we don't understand, can't understand. We think we know everything there is to know about this planet, our past, and all that. Yeah, and then they dig up things like the Antikythera mechanism, which you had a bunch of scientists sitting around there scratching their heads, staring at this block they picked up off the bottom of the ocean, and then when they X-rayed it, next thing you know, they're all scratching their heads like, I know, I read that too about the finale guest stars, which is going to be kind of interesting to see who it is. But of course, he's just trying to top Chibnall. He knows he dropped the ball. Come on, the only companions he reintroduced back in the day was Sarah Jane and K9. And then, of course, but if you count the other series, Jane Adventures, yeah, then you can go into Joe Grant or Joe Jones or whatever, and the problem with merch is it costs money to make money, and I really don't think my brand name is that much to toot about that it's going to sell anything. So I did want to thank someone for giving a super thanks on one of the videos. I just got the notification for that this morning. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but I really, really thank you, because those do kind of help. Because I am halfway tempted to start putting a little money into getting our videos, and all that knocked up the list. I want people to hear the truth. I want people to hear what's actually going on. I don't want to hear people to hear from a guy who thinks that every time he goes to the bathroom he can call it a leak, or a Doctor Who leak, just because he's got his sonic screwdriver in his... Wait up. Just because you're wearing your Doctor Who scarf and your sonic screwdriver when you go to the bathroom doesn't mean it's a Doctor Who leak. Okay? Hell, if that was true, every time, back during the day when I had on my Doctor Who robe, I was like, all right, I'm going to go take a Doctor Who dump. Ugh. Ooh, I think I just dropped Calufrax in the bowl there. It's like... Nah, it's going to be a while. Like I said, the last time I spent a great deal of amount on Doctor Who, other than, autographs or pictures, was when we found out they were shutting down the Doctor Who store, the merchandise store or whatever, and everything was going for bargain prices. I grabbed a bunch of DVD collections, because here's the thing they don't tell you, kids, in school. If you're out there listening on planet Earth, In most cases, the DVD-ROM on your computer, or Blu-ray, or whatever they're calling it this week, is a region-free player. I can put DVDs from any region into my computer and sit there and watch it on my 32-inch screen. Yet you got guys going, I found the secret hack code for my DVD player. It's going to play everything. I go, yeah, I can sit there in the privacy of my own room and do that. And plus, I have the tissues out in case there's a good Perry scene. And I can close the door to keep the domestic away while I check out Joe Grant and one of her little skirts and her go-go boots. Wait a minute. This is not an X-rated podcast. Okay. The problem is I already have all the tenant years. Well, at least up to what's coming. And I bought that big tenant years pods, the set, the box set. It looks like it's a book. I bought that years ago because I lent somebody my Series 2 bootleg and it came back. It never came back. So the problem is, though, is I've really, cut out buying Blu-rays and DVDs for the most part because we've got a billion of them. We got like 3 or 4 bookcases worth of DVDs and Blu-rays. And 9 times out of 10, we can just pick it out on a streaming channel and watch it there. But at least if the cable ever goes out, shit, we're set for about a year. So, come on, it's depressing when you go through your DVD set, you have so many that I discovered I actually owned like 2 copies of Deadpool. And one's never even been out of the wrapper. Hang on. Big wheels rolling. Gotta keep on rolling. Big wheels rolling. Moving on. Anybody remember that show? Because you're old then. Well, it's Friday. I noticed that, we're up to 10. We usually don't get a whole lot of people in the morning on Friday, so... Oh yeah, Tharies, lesbians, here's our keywords for the day. I think the guy's name is Terry Aldean or something like that. Evil song about doing things in small towns. That we're going to proclaim racist because it doesn't like Antifa in the music video. Or some shit like that. I don't even know. Morning, folks, who's coming in. I'll be here for a couple more minutes and I got to run inside. See, normally we'd be doing this out in the parking lot. Technically, I'm not supposed to be doing this here. So that's why I never mentioned the location. Yeah, it's just I've got so many DVDs and Blu-rays stacked up because, hell, I was one of the guys who was selling people DVDs when they first came out because I thought it was the miracle of damn invention altogether. Trust me, people didn't realize that, why does my videotape look so funny? I took good care of it. Because every time you play the videotape, VHS, it pulls electrons away from that tape. So that's why you get, your images kept getting foggier and foggier and foggier. That doesn't happen with DVD or Blu-ray. And that really made it easy to sell. Plus, what I really loved, what really sold people on DVD players, back when they first came out, all those times you went out and you bought a movie and you pressed rewind or whatever, and next thing you know, or something goes wrong and your machine has eaten half the movie you just blew $30 on. Doesn't happen with a DVD player. And that was one of the big selling points. I used to get a whopping like 2% commission on selling stuff in the middle of the night in the electronics department. Which really pissed off a lot of the guys during the daytime because they didn't think I was entitled to it. And I'm like, guys, you're running the electronics department during the day. At night, I was running electronics, sporting goods, do-it-yourself, and half the time the garden center, if not all, and automotive. I was running half the damn store by myself. So you're damn straight I was entitled to a commission, you 2-bit, Stupid gits, as they say. Ugh. That was back during a time I don't want to remember. Oh, God. Midnight shifts at a 24-hour department store. I worked in retail. I had it so bad. Yeah, try working 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day. Trust me, you really see the best in humanity. Especially after the bars let out. Okay. The dark times. The empire. Yeah, the empire that's now crumbled. Even the store I used to work at's long gone. I used to work for Super K. The store I used to work at's been long empty. I don't even know if that building still stands. Well, folks, yeah, I've been on here almost 16 minutes, which means it's getting towards time to head on inside. So thank you for joining me this morning. I want to thank all of you out there, who tune in. I want to thank all of you who've sent me things over the years, in case I never thank you enough. Especially you guys who've sent me autographs, who've sent me, videos of celebs mentioned in the channel. I love those when I get them, and I want to thank you for sending them. Remember, everyone, be kind, be calm, be safe. We'll hopefully catch you soon. See you on the flip side. Freedom out, children.